Hi, welcome to Nappy Invest. This video, I'm going to be talking about Copper Mountain Mining. And if you can tell by their name, they are a copper producing company with operations in British Columbia, Canada. And the share price has gone on a bit of a run over the past, say, 8 months or so. And that's because the underlying commodity price that they mine, copper, has been going on a run during that time period too. So Copper Mountain's share price is highly correlated to the copper price, as you would expect with a company like this. So if you're fairly bullish on the long-term future of copper, maybe this is a company for you. So the whole point of me doing these videos is to give you some ideas, maybe some inspiration, that sort of thing. Take these ideas, do your own research, and come to a decision based off that research. So this is not advice, this is just to share some ideas. So let's get into who or what Copper Mountain does. So of course, Copper Mountain is a copper producer. I've already mentioned they have a mine in British Columbia. They only own 75% of that mine, but they are dual listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the ASX. The ticker code on the ASX is C6C. And if you really want to trade with them on the Toronto Stock Exchange, their ticker code there is CMMC. Market cap of 460 million, and based off the revenue of 335 and operating cash flow of 81, that looks actually quite attractive, especially with the copper prices continuing to go up. I think the revenue operating cash flow for the next financial year will be quite good. In fact, I think this revenue and operating cash flow is a trailing 12 months, but their financial year should finish at the end of the year, I believe. Anyway, which was a few days ago. Anyway, so they do have two projects in Queensland. So they have that production or the producing mine in British Columbia. They've also got two projects in Queensland. Both of those projects are near Cloncurry and Mount Isa. Now, I just did a bit of quick research on Copper Mountain just to see how long the mine life is expected, the production and cash costs. Those are the sort of things. And luckily enough, on their website, I think I got this from the website, if I remember correctly, they do have some of that in it. So you can see expected mine life is at least 21 years, and that's a good mine life in my opinion. Production, they are starting to increase production. In fact, they're expecting 85 to 95 million pounds of copper in this financial year, which just started, and the cash costs is between $1.80 and $2 pounds of copper. So that's US dollars. So all their money, all their or financials are listed in US dollars. They also mined, so it's not only copper, they also have gold and silver with that, with the mining of the copper. So it's sort of a conglomeration of commodities, but the copper is by far the biggest money spinner, I suppose. So on November 2nd, they did give us the Q3 financial results, and you can see production, 18.9 million pounds of copper, 6.6 thousand ounces of gold, and 81.4 thousand ounces of silver. You can see copper by far is their biggest player. Financials, $95 million of revenue, income, which is profit, $33.2 million, operating cash flow, $47 million in one quarter. That is very attractive. And cash on hand at the end of the quarter was 53.6 million. The one thing that really grabs me there is the operating cash flow of 47 million. Actually, that's before a capital expenditure, of course, because capital expenditure isn't included in operating cash flow. They do give us some idea of how much capital expenditure they are expecting in the next financial year, and it's nowhere near that. So this, at the moment, could be a big cash flow producing machine based off the copper prices and the production. So they did do a forecast of 70 to 75 million pounds of copper, with the all-in costs of between $1.85 and $2 per pound. Now, just a few days ago, they did give us actually not the guidance, but they did give us the actual numbers for financial year because it has finished, and it did beat the forecast. So the actual amount of copper they did produce was 77.6 million, with the all-in costs exactly as they forecast. They did give us some financial year 21 guidance, and they are expecting an increase in production to 85 to 95 million pounds. All-in costs remaining static at what it was in the previous financial year. And the growth capital expenditure, they should be spending about 33 million US dollars. So You can see based off the operating cash flow of the previous quarter, which was 47 million, this is going to continue to be a cash flowing machine if the copper prices can remain high and even possibly continuing to go higher. So now I'm just going to look at the chart. I've already mentioned that the share price has gone on a bit of a run. So we've seen the last year's share price here for Copper Mountain. And in March, start of April, the share price was down around, looks like 25 to 30 cents. And now it's closed at $2.40. So it's really taken off the share price. Not only that, in the last few months, we really see the volume really increasing. That's really bullish. So a lot of fund managers, I think, are becoming interested in copper mining just simply because I think a lot of people are interested in the fact that they are a cash flowing juggernaut. And on the top right there, I've also got the copper prices for the year. You can see how the copper prices reached that low, that valley in around March, April, at lower than I think it was $2.20 dollars a pound or something, and it's almost double in price since then, and that's exactly why the share price of CXC or Copper Mountain has increased substantially. Now, the last one is just showing you how the share price of Copper Mountain is correlated to copper prices. So what I've got here is a chart of Copper Mountain since they IPO'd in, I think it was April 2018. And then just on the graph on the below there is the copper prices during the same time frame. You can see how well that is correlated. So ever since they IPO'd to March of this year, copper prices have been going or drifting slowly downward, just like the share price of Copper Mountain. And then since March, April of this year, the copper prices have been shooting up, and that's what's been happening with Copper Mountain's share price. So again, it may seem pretty simplistic, but I don't think a lot of people understand that you can make a lot of money if you just follow the underlying commodity prices. And if you're bullish on the commodity prices, you can buy a company within that space. Or if the commodity price starts turning in the top trend, that's when you can buy all those miners that are mining that commodity. And this is just more proof of that fact. So that's all I've got on Copper Mountain. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, this is not advice, just giving you some ideas you can take, do some research, give you some inspiration. So if you do need a financial advisor, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial circumstances. That's all for this video. Have a good day. Bye.